Nowhere, out of a total musical vacuum, out of total darkness, comes one ray of light. And it's fucking Ween.
On we go! Got to take control. You drink a whiskey and a wine, and it tastes just fine. But you're now naked. Life is getting tricky, and you're running out of gas, driving way too fast. Yeah, trying hard to steer you towards immaculate conception, heavy mental perception of a world so around you. No one will ever find you, and for you it's okay, 'cause tomorrow's just another day. Rock, roll, but don't you remember what your mama said? Hey, it's just your life, why don't you grab the biggest knife you can find? Yeah, baby, yeah, you acting like a lady. You got blood on your pants and I know you can do. Queen go, got to take control. You drink the whiskey and the wine, and it tastes just fine.
La Cucaracha. Not much to say about this album. There's a couple good songs on it, but for the most part, it's pretty boring. It's the only Ween album I'd say that is not good necessarily. Most Ween albums are pretty solid, but this one is just pretty weak overall. Never a big fan of it. Listened to it once though, so maybe I'm a little bit uninformed on it. Favorite songs, probably Fiesta and Your Party. The rest are pretty forgettable overall. So
Bananas and blow. Bananas and blow. Bananas and blow. Stuck in my Quebec, living on bananas and blow.
next album is White Pepper. You know, this album was okay. Was never a really big fan of it. I get the appeal to some people, but for the most part, pretty bland, pretty boring compared to the other records from Ween. Not a bad album at all. Besides La Cucaracha, I'd say that every other album thus far is solid for sure, but this one I just felt was the most bland out of all of them. Gonna be honest though, I don't really have any favorite songs necessarily. I just, all the songs pretty good. None that really stand out though. Next album is Shinola Volume 1. For the most part, was never really a big fan of this album, but it's got really good songs on it. I mean, Big Fat Fuck, The Rift, Monique the Freak, those are all great songs. Besides those songs though, I mean, it's always just been one of my lesser favorite Ween albums, but still a pretty solid one. Now here's the part of the list where every single record from here on out, I have really good thoughts on these albums. The Pod is next, and what is there to say? Except this is by far the most brown album by Ween, by far the most dirty album, the worst recorded album. I have a few favorite songs on here. Strap on That Jammy Pack is a great intro. Dr. Rock and Frank are both pretty insane songs. I mean, this whole album is just pretty insane. Pollo Asada is just a song where they just order food for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Like, there is not a boring moment on this album. Besides maybe that song, if you don't like that. But I feel like it's perfect Ween.
My dinner's on fire while she watches TV. And if you ever wondered what it's like to be me, she takes all my money and leaves me no smokes. Yells at my buddies and insults my...
Next album is one of my most listened to Ween albums. It's not my favorite necessarily, but I love this album. It's one of my favorite country records of all time, coming from Ween of all places. Just has great songs all over it. I don't think there's a bad song on this. Japanese Cowboy is fun. Piss Up a Rope is hilarious. Powder Blue is a great song. Mr. Richard Smoker is one of the funniest Ween songs that were ever released. Fluffy is an interesting song. Fluffy, I feel like, shows that it's still Ween, even if it is a country album. I'm Holding You is great. And I feel like if there were any weak points on this album, it'd be Pretty Girl or You Were the Fool, but those songs are both still really good. This is at this point, all these Ween albums, all the songs are good on the album. But yeah.
Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up.
Next album is Pure Guava. This album is my second favorite Brown album. There's just some great songs on here. I mean, it starts off with Little Birdie, which is just great intro track to a Ween album. Then you got Tender Situation, Big Jim, Push the Little Daisies, the first breakout single from Ween. Reggae Junkie Jews, hilarious. Pumpin' for the Man is also hilarious. Spring Theme is great. I Saw Jeaner Crying in His Sleep is one of the weirdest songs from Ween, in my opinion. Poop Ship Destroyer is a funny song. I mean, this album's just hilarious overall. And it's, in my opinion, their second best album that everyone refers to as their Brown albums. Pure Guava was the first Brown album that I listened to. And I think it was the one I'd say got me hooked into Ween. Wasn't the first Ween album I listened to, but this was the one that got me into them.
Happy colored marbles that are rolling in my head. I put them back in the jacket of the one I love.
Next album is Quebec. I know a lot of people rate this one higher. I feel like this is what White Pepper was supposed to be. Was listenable to anyone, but still Ween. I mean, there's some great songs on here. It's Gonna Be a Long Night is a great opener to the album. Zoloft is a great song. Transdermal Celebration is sure one of their more listenable songs to anyone, but it's also one of my favorite Ween songs. Then, this album has one of the top 3 of my favorite Ween songs of Happy Colored Marbles. And Hey There Fancy Pants is hilarious. Chocolate Town's great. The Fuck Jam is amazing. One of the most interesting Ween songs, I'd say. And The Argus is great. I mean, this album is just full of great tracks that really anyone can listen to. I'd say it's one of their 3 accessible albums to anyone, along with Chocolate and Cheese and White Pepper. I feel like those 3 anyone can listen to.
Age.
HIV.
Next album is Chocolate and Cheese. This was the first album from Ween I listened to. This album is just great. There's a reason it's probably their second most popular, maybe even their most popular, I don't know, album. I mean, Take Me Away is a great intro track. Spinal Meningitis is funny, fucked up but funny. Freedom of 76 is a beautiful song. Can't Put My Finger on It's weird. A Tear for Eddie is an amazing song, like one of the most beautiful Ween songs. Baby Bitch is a great song. Mr. Would You Please Hold My Pony is hilarious. I mean, there's just so many good albums or songs on here, and I even got to Voodoo Lady, Buenos Tardes Amigo, the HIV song, what Diener was talking about. I mean, just every single song on this album has a place in Ween's best songs, and it's one of their strongest albums. This top three is some of their strongest albums by far.
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man.
Next album is the Mullux. The Mullux was the second album I ever listened to. And I'd say this is the one that kept me into Ween, because Chocolate and Cheese got me interested, but this one kept me with them. And then I'd say that Pure Guava was the one that really got me into them. Dancing in the Show Tonight, weird intro, and I love it. The Mollusk is a good song. Polka Dotted Tail is probably my favorite Ween song. I don't know why, but I just love it so much. Mutilated Lips is a good song. The Blarney Stone is interesting for sure. A sea shanty on a Ween album. The Golden Eel is a super interesting song. I mean, this album is just full of interesting noises they went with. Ocean Man is, I mean, everyone knows Ocean Man. It's the big song from this album. Buckingham Green is great. Waving My Dick in the Wind is one of the funnier Ween albums, or Ween songs. She Wanted to Leave is a great outro to the album. I mean, this is just overall a really good album.
I feel a tick in my head, and he's sucking on my head. In the morning I'll be dead if he doesn't leave my head. Why can't he go away? Why does he have to stay? Maybe he wants to play, but I can only say that I'll get you, I'll murder you, I'll cut you, I'll put you down, down, totally where you
And this album I've listened to more than any other Ween album, and I gotta say it's probably my favorite out of all of them. I mean, You Fucked Up is a great intro. Then Tick, which is one of my favorite Ween songs. Just straight down the list, every single one of these songs, I love every single one until the end. Like, every single song on this album is great in their own respects. I mean, Bumblebee's insane. Don't Laugh, and then it goes into Don't Laugh, I Love You, which is just this weird, high-pitched song, like a love song almost. Nicole is a weird, long song. El Camino's awesome. Old Queen Cole is this punk song that hits so hard. Then you got Let Me Lick Your Pussy, which is one of the funniest Ween songs. Old Man Thunder, which is just a 23-second song of them making fun of Bob Seger. Squelch the Weasels, an amazing song. I mean, just this whole album is full of amazing songs. And I'd say confidently that it's my favorite album.